So this is what I tweeted out at Pro Wrestle Times on X. If you guys don't follow me, you know, I put over the Dynamite thing. I blew it to death. I went on like a 10-minute fucking caffeine-induced rant on it because I was just like, you know, I was just hype. I was just excited about they're trying. You guys know I put an A for effort for creativity every time. People talk about the ratings and, you know, NXT is going to catch Dynamite. Well, I tweeted out at Pro Wrestle Times on X or Twitter, whatever. I posted, I don't give a fuck what the averages were. NXT beat AEW this week. That's a W if I ever seen one, as far as keeping and building an audience and garnering interest in your main event. So let's just look at the ratings. Now, I'm not going to do Jim Cornette's whole bit here, but let's look at it. They start with 792, right? AEW we're talking about. And then by the end of it, where you know, Tony Khan gets attacked. Now, we can't judge the Tony Khan attack based, like, we can't judge that rating as like, oh, it's a flop. Like, if this week they have a big, if they get like 1 million, won't happen. 900,000, ooh, you know, if they get something because of what happened last week and what Tony Khan's been doing at the draft, that's a W. But we can't call it an L because they got 257,000, because you know what? Tony Khan didn't even play the overrun trick that he likes to play. He didn't even play that trick, right? And I don't care what the averages are, like, oh, AEW averaged more. We're going to analyze these fucking ratings here, like, right? But we can't call this a flop in the main event scene because they didn't announce like Tony Khan's going to get a pile driver. You don't want to miss this. So that's not an L, right? So next week we'll go, okay, that was an L, right? It was like the Jack Perry thing. We're airing the footage. They aired it the next week, resulted in less viewers than average. That's an L, right? So, but this angle, I put it over. I just appreciate the character work. Yeah, when you watch it back, like, it's so bad. Tony Khan's just awful at selling. Like, the players involved are fucking, you know, I'm like 8 feet taller than everyone in the ring. I understand that, right? But it's like, you can't judge on that. They didn't announce like, we're going to beat Tony's ass, right? But then look at NXT. They end with a 657. They start with 792. So that's Big Bang Theory. We know that. Look at NXT. They start at 572. Immediately jump to 637. Okay. That's almost what this main event fucking did. They're already beating AEW. Now go, keep going. Look, 721. They beat AEW. Like, they didn't get as high. So you look at the overrun, it went to 741 for NXT. Trick winning the fucking title, dude. Whoop that Trick. I just need his theme song on the fucking soundboard. I'm going to put it on. And I don't care if I get fucking pulled down, because God damn it, we need to whoop that Trick sometimes, guys. Okay? So Trick Williams wins the fucking belt, and it's a 741, 50K off from the peak of AEW, but that's because of Big Bang. So the average is whatever. Look at how this shit just goes down, a little spike when people like me were marking out about Tony Khan getting beat up, right? Look at NXT. They built it up so that the main event, it was peaking. And then who's this right here? Pulling the... So like the Good Brothers got the 721. Okay, so like, you know, main roster shit got the big spike. Look at this, man. Trick Williams just buried 711, 741, dude. Buried AEW. Like, that's a win for NXT. And NXT's gonna start beating AEW in the fucking ratings every week. We're about to see that. John JID says NXT is schooling AEW and garnering interest, gradually investing in the right people. Roxanne, Saul Ruka, Trick, Ilya, Breaker, Jada Parker, Dempsey, and on, bro. Jada Parker. My. And she's got it. Whatever the fuck it is. And that's the thing with Trick. Remember Dave Meltzer's dumbass was fucking burying Trick? NXT champ, bro. More people watch that than fucking Swerve Strickland, who's their world champ, who they treat like shit, who gets the back burner so Tony Khan can live out his boyhood dream, so that Moxley can get New Japan more over. You know, Swerve gets to go to the limit with Fletch. Go fuck yourself. And yeah, dummies, I call him Fletch because that's what AEW's own website botched and called him that. Is this how AEW... Here, well, X-Files it. This is how AEW... They got to go head to head, man. They got to tits up. They got to balls up. We're going back head to head with NXT, or we're going fucking head to head with Monday Night Raw. We're going head to head with SmackDown. They'll probably get beat up and bruised and battered, but they gotta do something. They have to do something real aggro and not calling people Harvey Weinstein. That's just like pathetic. He could have used that. Well, we're going to break it down in a bit, guys. We're going to save my thoughts. If the Dynamite NXT ratings gap gets smaller, NXT could go for blood by moving main talent over. WWE props up NXT as a brand instead of as Raw and SmackDown's little sibling. Now, a lot of people call for that, Michael Dodd. I love that you brought this up because a lot of people call for that. And I'm actually a proponent of get NXT the fuck off TV or do what you're saying. They have to do one of the two. Like, I like it as it is, but it's like a lot. We can't be seeing what story are they going to tell better on the main roster with Mello that they told with Trick and Mello? You know, like that shit should have been on like SmackDown, you know? So I get it. You know, you could make that argument in OVW and FCW. Well, what stories could they tell on the, you know, but I agree with you though. They should elevate it but I also like the idea of like NXT is like your prime time, but you're not quite main roster. I love that concept as well. So I think this is going to pop you guys. I think how they went for blood, how WWE went for blood was WWE speed. They give people 3-minute ultra flippy Uber indie matches and they air them on Twitter for fucking marks with short attention spans. And it's on Wednesdays. That's the biggest that's the biggest shot at AEW WWE could have ever taken, in my opinion. Yeah, and then if I was Swerve, I deadass would pull an Adam Page, come out on Wednesday and cut the most visceral promo on TK that anyone has ever done. Yeah, but then he would just get buried and shit. You're a cancer. All the fucking marks would turn on him and shit, dude.